financial consolidation. And today in application creation, yesterday we have covered application creation, and today in Oracle financial consolidation and cloud service, we will explore how to navigate the application and understand the dimension structure and application manage application efficiently. This session is ideal for Oracle consultancy for financial professionals, and learn who wants to strengthen their knowledge of FCCS. By the end of this session, you'll have a strong understanding of the application and how you can manage it efficiently. So let's start today's session. So let me log in into the application here. So yesterday we have covered the overview section about the application, how do we have to create the application, and how we can manage the environment. Here we can today we gonna in the application cluster, application card, under this application card cluster configuration, here we can configure the application. Now here uh, we can see the enable features of the application. At the time of application creation, what all features we have enabled, we can see all these features here in this application creation. So all those enable feature we can see it from here. So the certain things which we have not enabled, we can simply enable it from here, like equity pickup we haven't enabled it, partners elimination we haven't enabled it. So all these features we can enable it from here. As afterward it can also be enabled when we create an application for a client. According to client's requirements, we can create the application. We can adjust the application according to it. So if I move forward, if I drop my cursor down to this portion, like in custom dimensions, here in custom dimensions I have input 3 custom dimensions, which the first one was product, second was local, third was line of business. Similarly here I can give another name for the custom dimensions, uh, which can be local, or I have already taken the local, so I'm gonna take it view. So in this view, view will be the third custom dimension for this application. So we can enable this feature from here, and there will be 4 custom dimensions rather than 3. And so let's close this, and we move to the navigator section. This is the navigator. If we go to dimensions, under application, there is under create and manage, there is a option dimension. So under this dimension section, we will simply go to the dimension. As we can see, the dimension in front of the dimension there is a count. As I click on it, there we can see the 11 preceded dimensions: account, consolidation, currency, data source, and entity, intercompany movement, line of business, from currency. These line of business, local, including multi-cap, these are custom dimension The custom means the dimension which I have named. So these are custom dimensions, which are line of business location, and we can also include the multi-gap in the custom dimension. So beside this, um, this HSP matrix and status, we do not require all these two dimensions. Then so we gonna work only on account, consolidation, currency, data source, entity, from currency, intercompany, line of business, location, movement, multi-gap, period, product, scenario, view, year. So here I'm going to give I'm going to tell you about these dimensions. These standard dimensions, 11 standard dimensions, which are account and consolidation, these, and remaining remaining 4 custom dimensions, which are line of control, location, multi gap. So I'm going to explain all of this briefly about it. So let's close this. So if I open, for example, if I open this HSP matrix, this HSP matrix, these are the matrix as such. These are in the approval status. So all this in the daily course of business we generally do not use, because the reason is this is in approval status. So if I talk about the movement, this, and or if I talk about the multi-gap, sorry, just a minute. All so sorry for the interruption. So all these dimensions, they are here in the application to facilitate floating of data and consolidating and providing a structure format of the data in the report. So this is the purpose of the dimensions. If so, this account dimension has all the chart of accounts. All the chart of accounts means in this all the chart of accounts, which means balance sheet, income statement. These are the charts of account. And in consolidation dimension, where we do the consolidation, like in consolidation, like all those calculation which is related to goodwill, retain earning, etc. These all consolidation we generally do in the consolidation dimension. Then currency, any amount will be any amount having a currency, like if I say that, if I in previous lecture I have already explained how to do the currency translation, right? So we generally do if client wanted to convert the currency from INR to USD, then we use the currency, this portion. Then data source, if we are entering the data, we are putting it manually, or we are putting with the help of the data management. So there are various sources, there are various data sources which is used to tell the application where the data is coming from. Okay, whether it is coming from the ERP or from the other source. And entity is the organizational unit. Intercompany is for transaction which is occur between the parent and subsidiary or subsidiary to subsidiary. And this intercompany is used because we are doing the consolidation. That is why we are having intercompany transactions. Then movement. So movement tells how the balance sheet moves from one financial period to another financial period, basically how the amount is moving. So let me give the example with the help of the Excel. So okay, so let's take in December there is 1000, and now if I take January, this is closing balance. Okay, this December, will it come in January? So it will come in January as a opening balance. So the reason because this figure, it will definitely come to the Jan, because this is the month's end, like amount which is going to be coming in January as a opening balance. So if I say in the accounting terms, so prior period closing balance becomes the opening balance of the current period. So this is the movement. So application has to identify whether this is closing balance or opening balance, from where is this data or amount is coming from. So there are certain amounts coming from depreciation, whether if we accumulate depreciation, amortization similarly. So to make this transaction understand the nature of the amount, we use movement dimension. So to track the flow of account, we use movement dimension. And this movement dimension is basically used for making cash flow. Okay, then we have multi-gap. Multi-gap is for when reporting is done in the multi-gap. So then we enable this feature multi-gap for this purpose. This is custom. Periods are months, like January, February, March, quarter one, and this product is custom dimension. So product is what which is product is what I mean product is which is dealing with the dealing by the organization. So this is the custom dimension. And this scenario, so this scenario is like so this scenario basically tells the different basic version of the data. So we can have, like in scenario, we can have actual data, planned data, and accordingly we can make certain datas for budgets, plan, forecast. So FCCS has provided you one dimension scenario. So instead of taking different scenarios of, like if I say plan, forecast, budget, instead of taking all of this, we can simply rectify, or we can simply take it as scenario. So scenario is the various type of data. So this is scenario where we presenting different types of data. for example actual data, budgeted data, um, forecast data, etc. And then view dimension. Here in view dimension, this means how do we have to view, like as it mention it over here, like in the parent section, FCCS YTD, FCCS HYTD, and so we can see the type of data view in the view data, especially in terms of data aggregation or reporting format. Like we have periodic data, YTD data, as I have told you, YTD, UTD, HYTD helps in reporting purposes. So view helps in identifying the types of data, type of data. And lastly we have years. So years is simply what years we have to work, like there is, as it mentioned, for FY 24, 25, 26, 27 till 25 till 35. In the time of configuring the application, we have input whatever the year we have input, it represented like this. Okay. And if let's move to the another section. So let me open the PPT for it. So here I have to explain it from. So customizing the application, FCCS application interface, there are various levels of customizations within FCCS. For example, if you wanted to do relatively straightforward customization, we can use this under tools appearance. You can specify your logo from here, from the logo image, and we can customize theme accordingly, like what theme we have to put on. I'm using this currently I'm using the dark theme, which looks similar to like this. And if I have to change this appearance of Oracle theme, we gonna take it as a custom light, so it's going to represent like this, it's going to look like this. If I save this, and so okay, it will take a time to load, as we have changed the custom, we have changed the theme from dark to light. So this is how the interface of the application is going to be look like in all the light form. Okay, so again let's go back to it, and so let's make it to dark. And here we can see, we can change the logo, we can also we can even upload our file, we can also provide the URL, whatever the URL have to provide, we can give it in the front of the interface of the application. So and we can change the texture of the background by currently we are using the default texture, and therefore we can also change the texture according to it. We can upload the file to change the background. Like if I say I have to change the background, I have to keep certain picture behind this clusters, so I can simply behind this card, sorry, so I can choose certain photo to represent the same. Okay, then background color, what color contrast do you want, so we can simply choose any of it from here. And lastly, display business process name, so I have put yes on it because I have to represent, I have to display, I have to showcase the display process name, whatever the name I have to showcase. So that's the reason I have enabled the yes feature on it. And let's move forward. If another thing, if I open the appearance again from the tool, under the tool section, Yeah, it's got open. And as I'm going to click on this Oracle, right, Oracle uh, home logo, the this is the global header, by the way. And the global header, we can visualize, we can see the application name. And if I click on this logo, home logo button, we will simply redirect it to the home page of the application. Okay, so this does act as a link to the home page. So it's just like this. So just like this link, which take us to the home, so does the logo that puts up there. So in appearance, we can incorporate our logo image. We can also have background image, which will appear on the main screen. And I have already discussed with about the themes. So there are more themes coming up very shortly. We can choose from it. Okay. Now we can also customize the interface uh, with the navigation flow. Later in the future course, we will look this feature about in the more detail. In the navigator menu, I'm using the default navigation flow. So if we go into the navigation flows, this is where we can customize all the cards and cluster. Currently there is only one cluster or card I'm able to show, because it represent as an active sign. So here I cannot make any addition to it, because currently I'm using this feature. So instead of this doing experiment here, I'm gonna get back to my presentation. And through this presentation, I'm going to represent or showcase how we can edit the cluster and cards into the application. And so the one I am using at the moment, that is active in this in the default one. We have got the another one here, data importers, one for business unit user. We can create different combinations of cards and clusters for various different groups. So here we can specify the various cards, various clusters. As you can see, there is a dashboard, cards and cluster, infolate, data, general reports. So here we can specify various cards, various clusters. I can't edit edit this at the moment, so because it's an active cluster. But we can fully customize the interface related to the cards and cluster here. And we can also get cards and cluster from the other Oracle cloud services. So finally the last kind of the area where you can look at customizing the artifacts level. So artifacts level can be viewed under the tools here. As there is no data currently, there is no data here, so that's why I have made the PPT for the same. So in this artifact level, we can customize themselves. So what we can see here are the various filters related to items within the system. So if we were to look at the say forms and apply, here we can see a whole list of forms, and we can choose to import and export these customize any labels. So these export and import, we can see it from the action we can import and export these customizable labels, and name definition appears in the system. So from here we can see all the different types of cards and clusters and how they are named, and we can customize this. If I show it from here, then we can see the default here. To customize this, you can simply have to select this export. We can customize this in the Excel, and then we can import back into the application. So yes, so in the application, in the FCCS interface is fully customizable from background color to the cards and clusters. So all the labels and all the naming and conventional we use. So all this background and the front view can be customizable easily. And the so now I'm going to show you about the point of view. Let's look at to the setting of the point of view. And okay, the point of view can be seen from again from the just a minute, from the dimensions. So if I select entity from the dimensions, and if I delete down this FCCS total geography, there is no data here. Okay, no problem. I'm going to create a data under this head, under the parent. So with this edit pencil icon, we can create the input under here. First of all, sorry, okay, let's cancel it from here. As this is a parent member, so we have to provide first we have to define what we have to provide. Either we have to add the sibling into it, or we have to add the child into it. Currently I'm going to add the child into this parent section, so I'm gonna give the name of it. Like if I use USA corporate or sales, US sales, if I say, then under this, okay, let's add the sibling first. Under this I'm going to add the sibling. So in sibling I'm gonna use the USA sales, and we have to describe about this. In description we can give whatever the pointers we have, we find we are giving to it, like what is the main purpose of providing the name. So in US we are doing the sales for product which is like TV, if I say, okay, TV product. So we can give any sort of description, but this should be relevant to the name you are what the name you are using. So and then alias table, generally it is default only, and alias I'm going to give the GL code for it, like C_101, and then I moved forward to, like, as it is US, then the currency should be USD, and if the client want us to work on different currency, then we have to enable it from the application from the application menu. Like before creating the application, we have to provide the multi-currency thing. Then the data storage, that currently we're gonna use the never share here, and yeah, the console should be additional because, and I'll cancel the rate because we are only going to work on the single cube, which is console. No other things we have to enable, and simply save it from here. Okay, before making the changes, we also have to add it in the member formula. We have to simply check whether all the data is similar to it or not. Like in the member property, we have input the US sales and data storage property as never shared. So we have to simply check the same thing in the member formula whether it is same or not. We are currently working on the console and the data storage is never shared. Then it's okay. Then channelize it from the attribute. Here we have to check and all these things are clear or not, and then we gonna go to the UID. Everything is clear, then we simply save it. Okay, making a parent member invalid for the plan type, as plan types will make a descendant. Okay, we simply proceed. Okay, so we have created a sibling for this parent, and under this we gonna create a child for it, and in child I'm gonna use it as east sales. Like I'm going to define for which region or for which area I'm doing the sales for. Like, so here in description I'm going to provide like TV sales for for east region. Okay, then and alias, if I have to use the alias, then I'm going to use it as a underscore 101.102. I'm gonna use it for, and data storage property will be never shared, console will be addition, and like again we have to check the member formula for it. Alright, it is okay. Then we simply save it. We have created one child under it, and I'm gonna create another child under the parent. So this gonna be, or just keep it one only. So here I'm setting the point of view, like, and I have presented with a selected member window. So this requires you to navigate through a hierarchical structure. So from the left we can see the parent, and as I navigate through this, the system will show you the next level of the child. So we can navigate from parent down into the descendant, jumping from child to child. Okay, as I can create here another child under this US. It should be like I already inputted as US sales. As I have to create a child under it, then simply I'm going to go to this option and I'm gonna add the child over here. I have input the data for east. Now I'm going to use it as for west. So we are simply jumping it like from parent to child and child. So in description I'm gonna use for which reason we are doing the sales. So let's suppose we are doing the sales for the New York region. Alright, so NY TV sales, and we're gonna use the GL code for it, as I have used the GL code 102 for the east, and therefore here I'm gonna use GL code C underscore 103, because we have to represent two different properties, member property for two different sales. One is for east and another for west, and simply here what data type you have to use, you can define it from here. If you have to use the currency, then you can use the currency. If I enable the currency feature, right, then the members property gonna define in the currency form. Then simply I'm going to keep it as unspecified and clicking on the save. Alright, so we have created two children's, okay, under the parent US sales. So if you want to back up the hierarchy, notice the links of the bottom of the screen. Where is the entity total geography? Like so, in this total geography, it allows us to to move back to the hierarchy and take a new pathway down to the structure. This so when I select the members, you will notice a blue tick appears. This this indicates the member has been selected. To navigate down the structure, we will recommend you to click arrows, and the arrows take you to the next level. If you select the member, be careful because you are potentially selecting that member. And please watch the demonstration after the points of view overview, and do get the comfortable with selecting the points of view when you have got the access to the environment. And notice you search for the members using the names and aliases. However, you do need to delete search to to continue them, to continue the navigation up and down uh, the hierarchies. Alright, once the point of view has been selected, then it's gonna look like uh, okay, I'll show it from here. So let me connect to the application. So this is how we connect to the application. We gonna provide the private connection from here, and with this private connection I have to simply copy this URL from HTTP to Hyperion here, and as I'm going to copy this, I have to paste this here, and over here I'm going to write with what we have to connect the Excel. So we are going to connect the application with the smart view here in the Excel, so I'm going to provide the same, and with this arrow I'm going to proceed to the next step. So as it is loading and unable to provide the connection to that. Okay, no problem. Okay, the application is connected to the has found a connection between the Excel with the smart view. So here we have to provide the credential for it, so I'm going to copy the credentials and simply going to log in into the application. So wait, so with this here I'm going to copy the credential for to log in into the application. So at first just provide it with this, and we simply gonna okay. Okay, as the connection has been there is, I think application has been deleted. No problem. So anyway, the point of view is simple, right? I will show it from the Excel, and by writing down each and every name. So let's take an example. If I'm taking the point of view for FCCS underscore income statement by period So the point of view gonna look like scenario. First is going to be scenario, then year, view, entity, consolidation, data, source, intercompany, multi-cap, currency, product. That's it. So all this is going to be the point of view, or POV if I say it in the short form. Then here in the scenario would be actual, year would be 2024, FY financial year 24, view would be YTD, year till date, and entity will be, I have chosen for US sales, and for the US sales I'm going to use it for the West sales. In the West sales I have input the GL code C_30103. so here in the entity I'm going to provide the GL code for it, which is C_103. And let's move forward to the consolidation. Here in the consolidation we gonna choose entity total, as the application is not corrected with the smart view. That's the reason I have to show it like this, like while putting each and every data by typing. I don't know, some problem has occurred in the application, so that's the reason it's not be able to connect with the application. Anyway, so what I'm representing here this how the point of view look like. So as we going to connect with the application, right, we going to get to see these many point of view. Whatever the entity which we have choose, whatever the dimension which we have choose, the dimension is going to be representing like this. Okay, and under this dimension we have to define for what actual thing which we are working for. So like scenarios, actual, year is what year we are inputting the data for, and what is the view. So view is year till date, entity for which entity we are incorporating the data, and similarly for other dimensions. So I have defined the dimension till consolidation. Now I will define the dimension for data source. For the data source, the dimension would be total data source. These POV is already defined in the application, so I am just incorporating the data from the application only. Okay, I'm not putting anything by myself, right? I'm just putting the data according to the application. The data which is in the application, I'm just putting it to it. See, alias is simply the entity, so I'm just putting the same thing. Now intercompany, so intercompany is or if I can say no intercompany, because there is no subsidiary to subsidiary, or there is no subsidiary to holding company, so there is no intercompany relationship between in the application. and multi-gap would be local gap. So multi-gap would be local gap, or it could be FCCS underscore IFRS if as we are working for the US sales. So that's the reason why I choose multi-gap as the FCCS underscore IFRS, and currency would be entity currency. Product will be total product. So this is how we define the POV if the application is not linked within the smart view. So this is very important to select this point of view, because with this point of view we can only define what the data we are uploading into the application. So if we change the dimensions on the point of view, please remember to click the go button. Okay, so with the go button we can update the form with the relevant dimensions changes that you have made on the point of view. Some people prefer to use the edit members button, but it is down to this is down to preference. Please do try both the means of selecting the point of view with the go button or the edit button also. With the members button allows us to select with the whole number of members in the drop down. Like if I go back to the application and show it in the account dimension, and here this is what I was talking about. If I choose FCCS underscore balance sheet, and if I go with the traditional one, so see, this is what I'm talking about. So the whole number of the member selection using the drop down, and obviously we can still search for the item from here. What is the use of